in Japan, the key is predictability.
Okay.
So the key is they need to know, will it
Right.
rain tomorrow? If
Right.
it does, I will carry my umbrella. So anything that's uncertain is really uncomfortable for Japanese people in
that's
general.
true.
They don't have any control.
Right.
So how they kind of overcome that fear of control is to over-prepare,
Right.
just in
They
case,
do.
yeah. So Japanese people love predictability.
Right.
They want to know that what will happen.
Right.
There's no surprises.
That's right.
But of course, earthquakes are surprises.
Yeah, always
Hence,
surprises.
They have
and
to
happen,
prepare.
and they happen often.
Yeah, for sure.
They happen often.
So I think
Sometimes
that's it.
more devastating than others,
Sure.
but they expect
Sure.
that.
So the problem is when you basically are preparing things, you want predictability. Then what the side effect of predictability is habits. So Japanese people generally have habits. And what I mean by habits is that they'll wake up at the exact same time every day, eat exactly the same breakfast, take exactly the same train, have exactly the same job, come home at the exact same time. And some of the reason for that is that the job is so dissatisfying, so really very boring and very monotonous.
Predictable.
Yeah, right. So that the job, they get very little joy from the job. So they just want the job to go by, and on the weekend they'll do something. Mm-hmm. So hence the habit is there's no requirement again for thinking. It's all very predictable. There's nothing unusual. There's no risks. If I go to work at this time, if I leave at this time, I'll get my salary every month, and that's good enough for me. So in other countries we look at jobs as being joyful, as
Right.
being challenging, as being motivational, as giving you energy, giving you direction, giving you a challenge. But in Japan, jobs are not seen that way.
That's true.
So many companies try to hire people, they don't quite get it. They think, we'll give them more money, but they don't really want more money.
It doesn't matter.
That
won't change their
right.
behavior.
So the money is important for the wife to make sure that they have the same money every month, that their life doesn't change. But it's not necessary. So when you hire a person in Japan, you need to give them a story. Number one is you need to tell them why they're important. And secondly, you need to tell them, because they're important, why their life is very stable. And the third thing is that the company never fires people. People stay with the company for a very long time, so there's never any risk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you can sell more of a story-based, to telling them why they're important.
Not the income.
The income to a degree is important,
Not that much,
but
right.
only because some Japanese, so for example, I moved a gentleman recently from a very large Japanese company to a pretty large American company, and his only reason for leaving was he needed more money, and the only reason why he wanted more money was his children were going to go to university for next year.
That's the only
So
reason.
he had more cost, and he had got an Excel sheet out and decided that he didn't have enough.